Hello everyone, welcome to this video on my channel, and I'm going to be doing something a bit different today, and that's previewing the Bristol Rovers game against Forest Green at the weekend, as the title suggested. If this does get a good reception, I'll do more of these previews and see where this takes me. But as for the game itself, it's going to be an interesting one. We've got two promoted teams from League Two that came up automatically, both from the West Country. Last season we saw Forest Green get a 2-0 win in the first game, and then the third last game of the season, Forest Green were away at Bristol Rovers, got a 0-0 draw that got them promoted, and in the grand scheme of things, that draw was all right for Bristol Rovers when you consider that they went up by goals scored. But as for this coming game, a new chapter's turned. We're on to another season. The teams are going to be a bit different, and a lot different if you look at it from a Forest Green point of view. They've had some key players go. Kane Wilson to Bristol City stands out. Nicky Cadden to Barnsley. Abu Adams to Cardiff. A few others went as well that I'm not sure how critical they are, but they're still losses to at least some extent. And also Dan Sweeney, one of the main Forest Green centre-backs, had left. Over to Stevenage, surprisingly, but they have brought in some players. Reece Brown from Huddersfield, goalkeeper Alfie Burnett from Rotherham, former Birmingham City midfielder David Davis from Shrewsbury, along with Kyle McAllister from St Mirren and Jacob Jones from Swansea City. So we'll see how they turn out for Forest Green. Forest Green themselves, a lot of people have tipped them to go down. I think they've got a good chance of staying up. I mean, having lost some of the key players I mentioned, and that manager is a blow. But we'll see what the new additions, including in the manager department, has on the team for the season. For me, I think Forest Green, they've got the biggest chance of going down of the four teams that have come up to League Two. But it's more one of them where I more or less think of some teams to go down, and then you're like, oh, we need another spot. Suppose Forest Green. But yeah, I think they could still stay up. And as for Bristol Rovers, they've had less drama in the transfer activity. I mean, they released a number of players towards the start. Nicholson left, and they also brought in some interesting players like Rossiter, James Gibbons at right back, along with John Marquis up front, and who's the other one? Nonetheless, I think it's going to be a great watch. James Connolly was the other player. How could I forget him? Maybe it just seems like he's been here for so long. I think for Bristol Rovers, this is one of the best opening game fixtures they could have got. They've had a long streak of not winning their opening games, and then you are up against a West Country team, a newly promoted team that's had some blows in their transfer activity. And so, yeah, this game's for the taking from a Bristol Rovers point of view, but not necessarily going to be a battering. I think this will be a pretty well contested game. Over here, you'll see a lineup of what I would have. I think most of it's pretty much going to be on point. Of course, Belshaw in goal. James Gibbons, I think, is an upgrade at right back. Imagine Luca Hall will partner James Connolly at left back. I think Trevor Clark's the right option at left back. Rossiter and Finlay, we've got no Coots available. I think Rossiter, if he's fit, will most likely play a game this weekend. You could also pick Josh Grant. You could also go with Zane Westbrook, although I think he's not really defensive enough. He's more of an attacking kind of midfielder, and Sam Finley is defensive. Well, he can play defensive, but his best attributes are more going forward, whether it be a run, a shot. He does love a good tackle, but I think having Finley and Westbrook would be too unbalanced. And then I think the best front four that we could get is Harry Anderson on the right, Evans in the middle, Aaron Collins on the left, and new signing John Marquis up front. And what we've seen against Stoke City in the previews, in the pre-season friendly, it's been looking good. So as for my score prediction, I am going to go with Bristol Rovers 2, Forest Green Rovers 0. I think it will be a fairly contested game, but I think Bristol Rovers are going to have the extra added things that will help them win the game, and I think 2-0 is a fair scoreline. So what do you think? What do you think of my preview? What do you think of the game that's coming ahead? Let me know your lineups, your score predictions, and any other thoughts you have. But in the meantime, up the gas, up the Pirates.